Okay, so today we're looking at writing equations of lines in point-slope form. We've already learned slope-intercept form, right? It's y equals mx plus b. We use slope-intercept when we're given a slope and a y-intercept. Now, point-slope form is a little bit different. We use point-slope form when we're given a point and a slope, hence point-slope form. Point-slope form, the linear equation, it's written y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. In point-slope form, there's three things that you fill in. You fill in the y1, the m, and the x1. So the m is the slope, hence the word slope in point-slope form. And then x1, y1 is an ordered pair or a point. Okay? So if you are given a point and a slope and they ask you to write the equation of the line, you should always use this form, this equation right here. So let's look at an example. It says write an equation in point-slope form for the line that has the given slope and passes through the given point, then graph the equation. So literally, it's always y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So where I left blanks, that's what you're filling in. The 3, -2, that's your ordered pair. That's your x1, y1, and your slope is 1/4. So it goes y minus y1. The y1 is -2. So y minus -2 equals your slope. So my slope's 1/4 times x minus x1, which is 3. The only thing you have to do for point-slope form is if you have minus and negative, right? You should update that. So it's y plus 2 equals 1/4 times x minus 3. That is your answer. Y plus 2 equals 1/4 times x minus 3, and that's in parentheses. This is point-slope form. Now, to graph from point-slope form, we don't have a y-intercept, but we have a point that the line goes through and a slope. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a point at this ordered pair. So I'm going to go to 3, -2, and I'm going to make a point. Then I'm going to follow my slope. I would go up 1 and over 4 to the right. I've run out of room, so I'm going to go down 1 and over 4 to the left. And keep doing that. Down 1, over 4 to the left. So now I've got my line, or my points. I can make a line. And there we go. So let's look at B. Same thing. Here I have y minus y1. So the y value of my ordered pair is 1. So I put that in there. Equals the slope, so -6 times x minus x1. So my x1 is -2, so minus -2. I change the minus -2 to plus +2, and there's my answer. That's point-slope form. So from here, I'm going to graph it, right? My ordered pair, we can see that better now. My ordered pair is -2, 1, so I make a point at -2, 1. And then my slope is -6. Now this is -6 over 1. The 6 is negative, which means we go down. The 1 is positive, which means we go to the right. So from here, I'm going down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1 to the right. I don't have any more room, so I'm going to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 1 to the left. I'm going to go ahead now and make my line. Notice, when you're making your graphs, right, we've talked about this a little bit in class, but make sure your line is going in the right direction. If you have a negative slope, your line should be going down from left to right. If you have a positive slope, your line should be going up from left to right. So I know that I'm at least getting the direction correct. Let's try another one. This one says, write an equation in point slope form. Write an equation in slope intercept form, for the line that has the given slope and passes through the given point, and then graph the solution. So if I look over here, this one, again, I have a point and a slope. Even though it asks for my line in slope intercept form, I can't write it in slope intercept form because I don't have a slope and an intercept. I have a slope and a point. So I have to start out by writing it in point slope form. So y minus y1, that's 5, equals the slope, which is 3, times x minus x1, which is negative 2. Now from here, minus a negative makes plus a positive. Since I want my final answer in slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, I have to get the y alone. So I follow normal things that I've done before. I'm going to distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So I have y minus 5 equals 3x plus 6. And I'm going to solve for y by adding 5 to both sides. So I get y equals 3x plus 11. Here is my solution. Now that's slope-intercept form. Now if I try to graph this, I can't really use slope-intercept form to graph because my y-intercept is 11 and it doesn't go that far. But I can use what I've done before, right? I have a point, so I go to negative 2, 5. I make a point. And then my slope is 3, or 3 over 1. So I go up 3 and over 1. Notice how I don't really have the space to do that? I can go down 3 and over 1 to the left. So then I can connect to make my line, and your lines will be better than mine. But there's what we have. So same thing for B. I have a point and a slope, so I have to write it in point slope form. Y minus negative 7, because that's my y1, equals negative 1, my slope, times x minus 4. Minus negatives make plus positives, and now I'm going to put it into slope-intercept form. So I distribute the negative 1, so I have y plus 7 equals negative 1x plus 4. Negative 1 times negative 4 is a positive. And to get the y alone, I'm minusing 7. So I have y equals negative x minus 3. So there's my solution in slope-intercept form. Now to graph this, I can either use what I know, right, point-slope form, or this would work by me using slope-intercept form. So since we've been doing it, let's just go with point-slope form. So I'm going to go to 4, negative 7, and my slope is negative 1, so that means I'm going down 1 and over 1 to the right. Negative 1, if I want to make it into a fraction, I put it over 1. The top is negative, the bottom's positive. So if I go down 1 and over 1 to the right, I don't really have the room, so I'm going to go up 1 and over 1 to the left. So I can continue that pattern, but then I want to make my line. And there we go. So let's look at another example. This one says, write an equation in point-slope form for the line that passes through two given points. So here, if you notice, this one, it has two ordered pairs and it's asking you to write an equation in point slope form. We can't write an equation in point slope form unless we have a point and a slope. But we have points and we can find a slope. Remember, right, if we have two ordered pairs, the way we find slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what I have to do for these, if I have two ordered pairs, I have to find my slope first. So that's what I'm going to do. So y2 minus y1, so 4 minus 1, over x2 minus x1, so 2 minus 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. Now I have a slope for point slope form. The points, I have two of them to choose from. It does not matter which one you pick. I'm going to always pick the first one just because it's x1, y1, and I think of this as the first one. But you could pick 2, 4 also. It doesn't make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and write it in point slope form. Y minus 1 equals negative 3 times x minus 3. That's it. I'm done. It asks for the answer in point slope form, so I don't have to solve for y. That's my final answer. So B, same thing. I have to find the slope first. So y2 minus y1. So negative 6 minus negative 2 over x2 minus x1. So negative 5 minus negative 4. So I have lots of negatives here. Minus negative 2 makes plus positive. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Negative 5 minus negative 4 minus a negative makes plus a positive. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. Negative 4 divided by negative 1, that simplifies to positive 4. Now I'm ready to write in point slope form. I'm going to pick the first point and I'm going to write it out. Y minus negative 2 equals a slope, so 4 times x minus negative 4. Notice that the y's go together on the left, the x's go together on the right. Minus negatives make plus positives, so we fix that, and there's my answer. So let's look at another example. So this one says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line that passes through the two given points. The process is still the same. I need to find a slope first. So same thing, y2 minus y1, so negative 8 minus 12 over x2 minus x1, so 4 minus negative 1. Negative 8 minus 12 is negative 20. 4 plus 1 is 5. Negative 20 divided by 5 is negative 4. I have a slope, but I can't put it in slope-intercept form because I don't have an intercept. I have points. So I have to write it in point slope form just like I did in the last example. So I'm going to pick that first point, and I'm going to put it in point slope form. Y minus 12 equals negative 4 times x minus negative 1. Minus negative makes plus a positive. What I do from here is if they want it in slope-intercept form, I take this and I solve for y. So I distribute the negative 4. I have y minus 12 equals negative 4x minus 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Then to get the y alone, I add 12. So I have y equals negative 4x, and then negative 4 plus 12 is positive 8. So negative 4x plus 8. So example B, same idea. Here, I need to get my slope first. So y2 minus y1, 0 minus negative 8. x2 minus x1, negative 7 minus 5. Minus negative 8 makes plus. 0 plus 8 is 8. Negative 7 minus 5 is negative 12. 8 divided by 12 doesn't go in evenly. That's going to happen sometimes. You're going to have fractions. But I can simplify these. Both of these are divisible by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and there's a negative, so it's negative 2/3. I pick a point. I'm going to pick the first point, and I'm going to write in point-slope form. Y minus negative 8 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 5. Now from here, I have to put it into slope-intercept form, so I solve for y. I distribute, and yes, we have fractions sometimes. That's okay. If you can't remember how to multiply fractions, put it in your calculator. But negative 2/3 times x is negative 2/3 x. Negative 2/3 times negative 5. Well, a negative times a negative makes a positive, so this is a plus. 2 times 5 is 10, so it's plus 10/3. From here, I have to solve for y, so I minus 8. Now, I have y equals negative 2/3 x, 10/3 minus 8. Again, you can put this in your calculator, but in order to subtract these, I need the same denominator. So 8 is the same as 24/3. So I'm taking 10/3 minus 24/3. 10 minus 24 is negative 14. So it's minus 14/3. Again, sometimes you're going to get fractions. You can check all of this in your calculator, right? But that's my answer. That's slope-intercept form. All right, so next one. Here, we're given a square or a rhombus. It says, write an equation in point-slope form for the line containing side TU. So if you notice, it's asking for the equation in point-slope form. So in order to get this, I need a point and a slope. Well, notice the side TU. I've got two good points, right? The T and the U. I'm going to pick one of them. So how about I pick the U? That's at 4 on the X, 2 on the Y. So I'm going to use the point 4, 2. Now, I also need the slope. Well, think about it. I can find the slope by using rise over run. I have two pretty points. If I count from the U to the T, I'm going up 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 3. I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3. So my run is 3. It's always rise divided by the run. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I've got a slope. I've got a point. I'm ready to write it in point-slope form. Y minus 2 equals 1 times x minus 4. Then B says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the same line. Well, all I have to do now is take that equation and solve for y. I'm going to distribute the 1. So I have y minus 2 equals 1x minus 4. And then I add 2 to get the y alone. So I have y equals x minus 2. And there's my equation in slope-intercept form. All right, we're done from here. We'll go through the other examples in class. So have a good night. Make sure you fill out the Google form, and I will see you guys tomorrow.